O'clock, and I will call the March 28th, 2022 meeting to order. Would you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hey, Ms. Jagodzinski, if you would do the roll call, please.
Cheryl Hancock.
Here.
I am here. Chris Lau.
Here.
Rebecca Reber. Here. Brian Wolpat.
Here.
Emily Zach. Here. Jennifer Deep.
Here.
And Gary Dunlap.
Here.
Okay, so with 7 of the 7 school board members present, I would declare a quorum. Next item is approval of the agenda. I would note that the agenda has been posted, distributed, and sent to local media. With this in mind, are there any changes? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda as published.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to approve the agenda as published. Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Then I will move on to public participation. I'll call on those registered to address the board relative to any agenda item at this time. Public participants will come forward, state their name, address, and affiliation with the agenda item to be addressed. Public participation is limited to 5 minutes per person. I ask those present to respect the rights of others wishing to speak by refraining from interrupting them. According to Board Policy 187, citizens are expected to use proper etiquette, decorum, and respect when addressing and being in the boardroom. Robert's Rules of Order will be followed. Participants are allowed to remove their face mask. Well, we don't have face masks anytime, so Stacy, we can take that off. So with that, I will call forward Lisa Risch, and I know Tracy Dubkowski was going to come up with her. But Lisa, if you would start and state your name and address.
Hi, Lisa Risch, 904 First Avenue East in Holmen. Thank you for having us. We are here today on behalf of the membership of the HEA regarding Agenda Item 9.8, Board Resolution regarding the administration adjusting the longevity steps of experienced Holmen educators. We know that teacher compensation has been an issue in our district, and the school board and district leaders have been working hard to try and prioritize that over the years. And we appreciated the opportunity that Dr. Mueller and leadership team gave us in October to share at the board workshop with the other employee groups on teacher compensation. We also wanted to publicly thank you as a board, Dr. Mueller, Julie Holmen, and other district leaders for the mid-year increase to the teacher salary schedule. It was an unprecedented move. We've had other educators from other districts ask us about it. Thankful that it's on our salary schedule, and we are greatly appreciative of that move.
Tracy Dubkowski, W7704 Van Dunk Place. The passage of Act 10 has done damage to the teaching profession throughout Wisconsin. For our school board and district to work to make this resolution a reality and put teachers on the steps that they should be on based on their years of experience is huge. It shows our staff that you value them and the work they do every day. It is a step in the right direction that will help Holmen retain the amazing teachers we currently have and attract the best in the future. Why is this important? Because the number one factor to impact student learning is a high-quality educator. We know that this resolution is something that the board has spent a lot of time working on over the last few months because it is best for our students. We are so grateful for the time and effort put towards making this resolution a reality. We hope to see it pass unanimously tonight. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. And that is it for public participation. I will move on to District Administrator's report. Dr. Mueller.
Okay. Well, I'm going to start tonight with kind of sharing. We have a Holmen senior, Van Maxwell, and he is within our band program at the high school, and he really would love to conduct the Lacrosse Symphony Orchestra, and he has the opportunity to do this through a voting process, and if he is one of the top 2 vote getters, he will get to the opportunity to do this on May 7th. So I just wanted to let the community know that he was aspiring to do that. Also, I wanted to congratulate all of our middle school students that participated in the regional spelling bee. And we did have our sixth grader, Brianna Jensen, who was our regional spelling bee champion in that. So we want to congratulate all of them. And then also, I wanted to thank our high school drama students. The whole team, the stage crew, the people who do the lights, the actors, actresses, and all of them, and those that are our Camlin and those that help our students put on the production and guide them. They definitely shared their talents with the spring musical in that. So hopefully most of you got a chance to see that. And then also, record number of power lifters went to the nationals this year, and they definitely represented Holmen well this past weekend. They were in the Chicago area, so we thank them for that. And then lastly, we have part 2 series. We had a community event put on in partnership with our Diverse Cultural Alliance students, in that with some other community members back earlier in the year, called Amplifying Black Voices. They actually are going to have part 2 on Thursday evening this week at 7 o'clock in our Fine Arts Center. And really, the second part is they'll show a showing in the Fine Arts Center of unveiling the perspectives of Black youth and their parents in the La Crosse area. So once again, we invite all those in our community to be partners and come and attend and watch the viewing. And our students did a great job of facilitating some conversations afterwards, so that will be happening. And then I just wanted to take this opportunity to share some retirements. It's that time of year, in that we have some retirements here that we want to celebrate and thank folks that have supported our students in many different ways throughout the district and dedicated much time over the years. Anita Torgeson has been an administrative assistant at our middle school and she has 17 years. She currently is in that role. She's served many roles in our district and has given 17 years of service, so we thank her. And also at the middle school, a special education assistant, Christine Tibbetts, for her 9 years of service. Also, Lisa Risch, who you heard earlier this evening, she is going to retire. She's our instructional technology coordinator, 17 years of service in the district. And Sarah Wynn, who does a lot especially with assistive technology in our district. She will, after 30 years of service in our district. Jackie Schliffer from Sand Lake, 37 years of service. She's also a special education assistant and also in Sand Lake, who serves in that same role. Lori Jones, who has given 20 years of service in the district. And lastly, we have a couple bus drivers that have given 13 and 17 years of service in our district, Damian Bork and Wayne Killian, who will be retiring. And last but not least, Dave Scheffelbein, 49 years of service to the district and maintenance, is going to be retiring. We wish all of them well, and we always let them know that you're always welcome to come back anytime and help us out in that, as many of them do. So we wish them well in their retirement. So thanks.
Thank you for that report. So how can we help Van? Is there a website?
Yeah, the La Crosse Symphony Orchestra, if you just Google that, you can go on and vote there or make any donations. So it helps support the La Crosse Symphony Orchestra, would be my assumption, because they help purchase instruments for many students in our districts in supporting the orchestras, but then also give the opportunity to students. So thanks.
Thank you. Okay. And then moving on to reports and discussion. The first item is a resolution regarding the transfer of funds and the debt defeasance. So Julie.
Good evening.
Thank you. I wasn't going to read that whole thing.
I might read it. Is it up
Okay.
there? Oh, I can scroll here a little bit. But this is the debt defeasance that was presented both last meeting and also in October before we certified the levy. And at that time said the resolution would be coming tonight. So it's the resolution to transfer funds, establish an escrow account with respect to the defeasance of certain general obligations, school improvement bond. This has to do with the Series 2019, which is the bonds for the addition and remodel at the high school. And as shared in the past, there's an opportunity to defease the dollars into an escrow account and have some savings. And so what this will do, it'll cut the final payment in half of the final maturity due in 2030. That was an 11-year total bond. So this defeases part of it to the final payment, making that a lesser payment according to the original schedule. And 2 weeks ago, I think the net savings at that time, which was estimated, was $229,000. And today's final net savings is $285,000 in interest, so that went up significantly. We know that rates are changing quickly right now, so that went up positively, as Eric from PMA thought it would. And so the net savings on interest will be $285,000. The cost to actually do the defeasance is almost $14,000. And we will be defeasing about $1.5 million. So last fall, we over-levied in debt $1.5 million, supporting a more steady mill rate, and then also prepaying some of this debt down so that we have some interest savings in the total life of the loan of that $285,000. So the resolution's on this evening. With your approval, this will all close. The closing date is set for April 11th. Any questions?
Any questions regarding this? I think as you mentioned, this is one of the strategies that we use to keep our mill rate steady, and when future needs come forward, that will help us, I think, offset some of that increase to rise.
It is a strategy. We had a really hard time keeping that mill rate steady, and it did drop over $1 last fall, and that was many different factors, including over 11% equalized property valuation growth and decisions at the state level where they gave some property tax relief and shifted our aid and our levy under our revenue limit. And so this was one strategy, like you said, to try to not let it drop as far as it was going to without this. So it's kind of a win-win that way, and it gives us tax savings on the total life of the bond. So
Okay, thank you. And thank you for your leadership in this. It's really
Thank you.
well received. Thank you. Then the next item is staffing update, and Kim and Jill will share information about our instructional inclusion coach.
It's right up there. See it? Okay. Good evening. Jill and I are really excited to, we have 3 new positions that we are putting before you tonight for your consideration. The first are 2 instructional PLC coaches that would be at the secondary level. As you know, we have a very successful coaching model at the elementary. We'd really like to build on the success of that and provide more supports for our middle school and high school in development of their PLC culture. So we are proposing a 1.0 FTE for the middle school and another 1.0 FTE for the high school, who would be this secondary PLC instructional coach. They would work specifically with our collaborative teams. They do a lot of data analysis, facilitation of team meetings, instructional coaching, collaboration, let's see, what did I miss? On-site training, they fill a lot of roles. They're that person that you go to when you're trying some things instructionally and you need another set of eyes, or you want to try a new strategy. It's that in real-time professional development, that collaborator to have with you. So those would be 2 of them.
And then I'm proposing an inclusion instructional coach as well, and this coach would primarily be working with our special educators in the district, working on college and career-ready IEPs, but then taking those IEPs and really putting them into practice. So working with our staff, not only special educators, but their professional learning communities as well, to figure out how we can best meet the needs within inclusive settings, but also addressing their specialized instruction as well. We have a lot of staff who are very interested in working smarter and really learning more how to do this within inclusive settings. And it's hard to coach when I'm also trying to be a district leader. So it'd be really great to have someone who can be boots on the ground with our staff to do those things. And we're proposing to use ESSER dollars for this, so these would be 2-year positions.
Are there any questions? You answered the question I was going to ask, so related to budget. So, so ESSER dollars would be used to establish this.
Yeah, and then after the 2 years, we would reassess and reevaluate.
All right.
One quick,
Yes.
are there any people potentially in the district already that would be filling these roles, or would these be?
I think possibly.
Yeah, I think that is a possibility. Definitely. We have a lot of fantastic educators.
Yes, we
so-
do. There you go.
Okay, I think that's it. Thank you so very much. Then we'll move on to item number 9, consent agenda. Are there any items that board members would like to have removed so that it could be considered separately?
Yes, 9.8.
Okay, Brian, any others? If not, then I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda items excluding item 9.8 as presented.
So moved.
Okay, Gary and Chris seconds. All those okay, so the other items, the 7 items are on for consideration. So all those in favor of approving the consent agenda items with the exclusion of item 9.8, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. And then we should address item 9.8. I would entertain a motion to approve Board Resolution 9.8.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, so a motion's been made and seconded. And Brian, I think you're abstaining for conflict of interest.
Correct.
Correct, okay. Before we go into discussion, I just wanted to share a couple thoughts on this resolution, if you would be so willing. As was mentioned, the resolution before us tonight has been a long time coming. Since last summer, the board and administration began meeting and discussing workforce as one of its priorities in our strategic planning. Since August, we've met 7 times to discuss this topic. The situation we found ourselves in can be directly related to Act 10 and the outcome of that bill, which ties raises to the CPIU. Since Act 10 the CPIU has been very low, and Holmen has recognized that by exceeding the minimum amount or the maximum amount allowed to be negotiated in previous years when working with the Teachers Association and other groups, I should mention. Most recently, last year, we more than doubled the CPIU, which was set at 1.23, and we gave a 2.5 base wage increase to all of our staff. Yet our educators found themselves lagging behind area schools and peer schools across the region and state. In order to give higher raises, we did often have to raise or freeze steps and lanes over the years in which we worked through with the Teachers Association with good intentions. But still, we found ourselves in a bad position with teachers who found themselves significantly behind where they might have been had steps been given. At our workshop with the employee groups in October, placing educators in their appropriate steps was one of 2 requests that they made. That evening, we heard from all employee groups, and I'm pleased to share that soon language will be coming forward to address some of the other requests made by employee groups. I just want them to know we have not forgotten the other groups. This past December, the administration and board took the extraordinary action to give a mid-year raise to all groups beginning in January, which helped make up some ground to area districts, but it did not address the concerns related to steps. At this time of year, when educators are considering options for the upcoming school year, we felt it was imperative that we take action to address the steps. The resolution tonight directs administration to place educators on the correct steps based on their years of service in Holmen. While over the years our intentions were good, the place we found ourselves today is not good, and it's not in the best interest of our district. We often say our workforce is our most valuable resource. This action goes a long way in showing them that our words have meaning. It is the right thing to do. It is good for our educators, their morale, and in the end, it is good for our students. So as you look at the stipulations that are included in this resolution, the dollars should be used outside of the regular budgetary dollars in addition to the 4.7 that the board previously approved for budget variables this year. We recognize that 4.7 is a high mark compared to other years, but that inflation right now is about 7.9%. Staff will work with individual employees to assure appropriate step placement is made. Cash reserves and budgetary surpluses should be used for initial implementation. Currently, we have a very strong cash reserve which exceeds our targeted amount and most budgetary standards. The placement of the employees on the compensation matrix will be a continuing expenditure, and we recognize that. These step adjustments should commence on July 1st of 2022 and be completed on July 1st of 2023. We recognize that this plan may take up to 2 years to complete. It's an expensive proposition, and this allows the district some flexibility in going into this with little negative budget implications as possible. Step movements should only apply to the time since the individual became an employee in the school district, and the intention is that no employee would go backwards in this plan. So I just share that for background for the board and the public, and would open up for any other discussion amongst the board if you're so interested.
I just wanted to say, I'm really glad, because this is a long time coming. I support it.
Any other comments or discussion? Well, motion's been made and seconded regarding this resolution. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries, and we will make record of Brian's abstention. Then we will move on to the board debrief. I will call on board members and ask that you present any comments or committee reports that you may have. I'll begin with Emily.
I really don't have much, just spring sports just started and we had a good closing to a lot of the winter activities and sports, so just looking forward to the spring sports and seeing how that all plays out.
Thank you, Emily. Next would be Jennifer Deek.
Yes, congratulations to Brianna Jensen for winning the regional spelling bee. And I guess everybody please go out and vote for Van Maxwell. I'm excited for him. And I did not get to attend the first Amplifying Black Voices because of a conflict that I had, but I'm really looking forward to attending it on Thursday. So.
Thank you. Gary Dunlap.
Here's hoping for some spring weather soon so that everybody can get out on the fields and get going. We had a finance committee meeting tonight, and we discussed, we spent almost the whole meeting discussing school repairs and how we're going to fund the repairs that we need to get done in the next couple of years, and it went very well.
Okay. Thank you. Anita Jagosinski.
I wanted to congratulate the spelling champs. Way back a million years ago, I was one of those spelling people up north. So congratulations to those kids and the power lifters. Congratulations to them for making it to nationals. I did go to the first Amplifying Black Voices. I won't be in town this Thursday, or I would love to attend that. The other comment I have, just briefly, I hope the educators know how much they're valued. And I hope that this resolution passing tonight makes a big difference, because you deserve it.
Thank you. Chris Lau.
Dr. Mueller briefly mentioned it, but I took the family out to the play, the musical, the You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. It was good. My girls really enjoyed it. And I just want to say thank you to all the retirees. That it's coming to be that time of year, and a lot of years here that were going to be missed in the district. So thank you to all the retirees.
Thank you. Rebecca Reber.
Yes, Building and Grounds met last Tuesday. We reviewed a lot of the building projects or the requests that are out there, lots of repairs. I do want to give a positive thought out to the teachers too, that they really do deserve that, and pass that on. Pretty kind of an emotional time. So, and just now, hopefully it's becoming spring. Now is the time to grow and come back together as a community. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Brian Wopat?
As spring sports are kicking up, I'd like to wish all the athletes best of luck this season.
Okay, thank you, Brian. And I really just want to echo comments, lots of activities going on in the spring. I know Dr. Mueller and I had a conversation about May, and this year, after a couple years of having an unusual May, how fun it's going to be to have a real May with all of the activities, all in person, retirements, and recognition nights and senior recognition nights and all of those things, and then the graduation, of course, which we did do in person last year, but we look forward to all of that. Also, Thursday's event, I plan to be there and look forward to that. I know the DCA group that's putting that on is awesome, and it's a student-led activity, and I think that's what's key about it, is so many of the programs that we do are student-led, and this is another example of that. And so if you are available on Thursday night, I would encourage everybody to come on out and participate. I would just note that board members have received copies of the Buildings and Grounds Committee notes from January and February, and the Student Achievement and Learning Committee notes. We have the spring election coming up on the 5th of April, the regular board meetings on the 11th and the 25th, which also includes the organizational meeting. And then May 9th and 23rd are the regular board meetings that are coming up. And boy, early night, so if there's nothing else to come before the board, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of adjourning, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay?
Nay.
Motion carries. We are adjourned. Thank you.